Hello again, Nashville. Welcome back to another episode of the NFM podcast. First, let's start by saying we are here in the Game Day Men's Health Studio. We love our Game Day Men's Health Studio. And today's episode is brought to you by, I'm not seeing it, Stretchstone Franklin. We love Stretchstone Franklin as well. We love all of our sponsors. Off to a great start here. My name is Sav. And I'm happy to be here on this fine day. I'm here with my friend Dylan today. Jarrell is out. Howdy. But how are we doing, Dylan?
Great. It's always good to be here.
We're back. I feel like you're now, at this point, you've subbed enough times. You are a regular feature on this podcast.
Reliable third stringer.
I really don't like that term for it, but you're much second more string, to us than that. But you can put yourself in that camp. No one else can, because we value you very much.
Well, thank you.
But how have you been? How's everything at Pro Vita?
Yeah, life's kind of been going great. Things at Pro Vita are good. Nothing. We started offering a yoga class on Sunday morning, so that's been pretty sweet. Yeah,
Game changer.
Getting some good attendance there, but other than that, yeah, business as usual. Yeah.
Was that like an in-demand thing from members at the gym? Like
we had members asking, and then one of our clients, one of the class members, offered to teach it on Sunday. She's a certified yoga teacher, so
love that.
Yeah, it's been
that's awesome. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, what a great addition. Yeah, no, I think like the more that one place can offer something, as long as it's quality. But I imagine she's certified. She loves it. Yep. She offered to do it. Yeah. So, having those options.
It works really well with, I get to beat them up all week in the gym, and then she can stick under a storm on Sunday.
Yeah. So. I mean, truly though, yoga is one of those things. A lot of people think that I'm a yogi, like just based on my body type, and I'm not, but I do very much so have a lot of respect for yoga. Mm-hmm. And I think like in the yoga world, it's become like a very trending way I think it definitely hit like peak trending, like I want to say 5-10 years ago, but like it's still very much so like that and Pilates. And I think that's a type of strength that if you get yoga strong, it'll make you more strong in the weight room.
Absolutely.
And vice versa. But I don't think people think about that as much, or maybe they do.
Just more body awareness helps you move better.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
It's anytime I've done yoga, it is wildly humbling every time. There's not been one time, even a restorative class, I'm not like, oh, this is so like relaxing.
It's supposed to be the good one, the relaxing one.
Yeah. And then put me in a power flow and I'm gone. I'm dead. Have you guys done yoga? Yeah?
Yes, I have.
Well, let's introduce you guys now that we're, entering the conversation with you. We are here with a few friends today. Typically, we only have one guest. Today, we have three. And this is an exciting one because we're going to be talking about you guys' fitness journey and your transformation through your fitness journeys. And I'm really looking forward to hearing that. I know that's going to be really inspiring. But Kevin Bazile is, okay, I want to make sure I'm saying that right because it's a cool last name. But Kevin you are the owner of 80/20 Fitness, and these are your clients.
Yes.
So, introducing you three, like tell us a little bit about 80/20 before we get into the basket of debate. We'll get into like the full story, but tell us a little bit about the gym.
So 80/20, it stands for achieve more with less. So when you step into 80/20, we don't have a whole bunch of equipment, but because we specifically and purposefully put together a program and a workout style that is going to be it's like you come in and it's less intimidating. Mm-hmm. Well, we have our clients are in the age group of like 35 to maybe 50, not telling your age.
Watch it.
I thought you guys were 25.
And we found in the past people would come in and it's like CrossFit this or, strongman this. And it's like, no, you come in, we have a workout style that is going to promote injury-free, and it's fun, and it's a team building atmosphere.
I love that.
And,
awesome.
We flex the competitive edge. A lot of our clients are high-level professionals, and they have a real like competitive edge.
I love that.
Like Nicole, she can, man.
Let's go.
she knows. I'm like,
sometimes people have no idea like how much that can play into their fitness when they get started in a fitness routine, because like I don't think even people realize the competitive edge that they have until they get into fitness sometimes, and then they're able to really hone in on that. And it's
Awaken
like, whoa,
the beast.
okay, I'm good at this. Like, you'd be surprised. Nice.
Yeah. So and we also created our compounding habit program. So
Okay.
the program, it's you pick one habit, you find a time and a place for that habit to exist, and then you track it within our app.
Okay.
So I got this program
Just one at a time.
Just one at a
I
time.
love that.
That's great.
And
'Cause
I'm sure you guys.
I can't
probably
handle more
read-
than one thing at a time.
I'm sure you guys read Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
great book.
So I got the program it's based on that book.
Awesome.
And after reading that book, it really changed my life and the way
Yeah.
I look at habits and really the longevity of your health. Right? People always want the quick fixes.
Right.
But the quick fixes don't last. So we make sure that each month or every 28 days, you're building a new habit and really making it stick. And if you don't successfully complete the habit, which is getting 80%, 22 out of the 28 days, then you have to repeat the habit.
That's
And,
awesome.
Yeah.
Because you'd think
that's
it'd be
really
so
cool.
simple, like
Yeah.
one habit. It could be like drink water, drink this much water a day. And people look at a habit like that and they're like, well, that's not going to help me lose weight. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you don't do it and then you don't know how to apply those things to other habits or like change a certain habit, because it's all about like building those habits. Like your habits are what you become. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't eat breakfast and you don't, get ready and you're just like walking out the door, like, like that's a habit that
Yeah.
you wake up every day like that, and that sets the tone for your day. But if you had habits that were as simple as I'm going to drink a glass of water when I wake up, I'm going to limit myself to 2 cups of coffee, I'm going to make sure I'm dressed by this time, I'm out the door by this time, like those are habits that you can build on. And like
Save-
when you
save you
master
time.
them,
Yeah.
it's those little wins that you go, okay, I'm doing good, I'm headed in the right direction. But if you try to do too much too soon, it's usually a recipe for crash and burn.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love that. That's a great way to go. I
Does
mean,
your app give you a little Duolingo reminders like, hey, did you drink your water today? Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Mine
great.
I like that.
And it's really good.
that's a
I mean,
game changer.
The community is really what I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like people, they get into the group and it's like we're becoming a family. Like people would see Nicole and they're like, I saw Nicole, I need to get ready. I need to make sure I do my stuff, So
Exactly.
it's like,
Accountability.
it's accountability, but then also it's kind of like that competitiveness. Like if she did it,
Right.
I have to do it.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
what community should be. It's like a healthy competition with each other where it's like nobody's better than anybody, but it's like, okay, she's doing it, I got to hop on it because I know, internally when you're like, not doing yourself any favors or when you're not meeting your own expectations for yourself.
Yeah.
And having that like accountability around you helps you really kind of, listen to that little like, you know what you should be doing. So that's great. I love to hear it. Community is huge. I think I'm big on community as well. I can do things solo and I do like to do a lot of things alone, but at the end of the day, nobody really gets through life alone. Like you have to ask for help every once in a while. You have to like have that accountability. You have to humble yourself enough to know that you are human and you can grow always. So
Yeah.
sounds awesome. Sounds
absolutely.
really warm and inviting but challenging, I'm sure. And we'll get into that. So before we get into that, we're going to do our little icebreaker segment, which is called the Basket of Debate.
Okay.
Essentially, this segment is brought to you by Body 20, one of our sponsors. Thank you, Body 20. I'm going to grab one out of here. Dylan's going to grab one out of here, and we're all going to each grab one and read it. And typically, it is something that we like kind of have a fun little debate over. Like it could be like, what is the worst gym etiquette habit that you've ever seen in the gym? And then we'll talk about it. But these today, I think, are going to be a little bit different. So I think they're more like Olympic themed, since we're in Olympic season, which is exciting. I don't know if anyone else is watching that, but I am, and it's awesome. I don't know. Do you guys have any like people that in the Olympics? I know I have friends that have friends in the Olympics. I'm like, that is so cool.
I started watching that sprint documentary on Netflix.
Yeah,
I'm
I've heard
pretty
that's
excited
so
for the
good.
track and field event. Yeah.
I've heard
that's
that's
pretty cool,
good.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have to watch it because I'm the only person now in the room that has not seen it. Cool.
haven't
Cool,
seen
cool,
it
cool. Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Okay, let's go, Kevin.
So, how does this impact the spirit and integrity of the game?
How does what impact? Okay. So we're gonna come back to that one because I think that was like a branch off of a different one. Sorry, Kevin, we set you up for.
I can insert my own.
I mean, if you got one, go for it. Think on it, and I'll read mine. Would the inclusion of sports like parkour and skateboarding attract a younger audience? Heck yes.
Yes.
Let's go. I think that'd be fun. I don't see why not.
I think if they can have gymnastics, they should have skateboarding.
Yeah, parkour is-
it's
I
similar.
thought they had skateboarding.
They do.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Tony Hawk's. Was he in the Olympics or is that
No,
X
that's
Games?
a new thing. Yeah, X
Okay.
Games was
Okay,
always
it is new.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know anything. I live under a rock. Okay, who's next?
I'll go. When road tripping, what's your go-to healthy gas station snack?
Ooh, healthy?
First of all,
Do we
gas
have to-
station snack?
Yeah.
My go-to would be an apple or banana at the front. Right
Okay.
where the registers are, there's
Yeah.
a basket, like a trio basket, and they have fruit in there. So it's gonna be
Banana, you
apple,
can't go
banana.
wrong.
Yeah.
Because
good
banana is
answer.
always in the
good
skin.
answer.
So if it came from somewhere nasty, you just take that nasty skin
Exactly.
off and you still got your banana.
Exactly. Key
That's a
with
great
the
choice.
Apple though is you have to buy a bottle of water.
Yeah.
So you can rinse the apple off
Yes.
before you
Yes.
bite into it.
But you're smart enough to know that.
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting our listeners know to do that. In case you buy a gas station apple, please watch
Just
it.
don't bite into it.
Make sure
please.
you got money for that water.
Somebody put it in that basket with their hands.
Yeah, and they probably clean the bathroom in the same 5 minutes.
Exactly. Oh my God.
Depending on the gas
Clean
station.
your fruit, people.
Some of those like twice dailies are really nice though.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they make gas stations that are like not gas stations.
Oh man.
There's one in 12 South that's not a gas station, but it's like a twice daily or like a 7-Eleven that I'm like, I'm sorry, is this a gas station?
I think I know what you're talking
Or a
about,
coffee
yeah.
shop or what? I don't know. But anyways, so that was a good choice. Does anybody else have one to add?
If I'm feeling bougie, I'm going with the beef jerky.
Beef jerky? Okay, that's a great
yeah.
protein
Yeah.
option. Do you have like a certain brand?
I don't know. No.
Okay.
Whatever's there. Yeah.
Something salty?
Yeah. I don't know that I can answer because I don't think I'm going to buy something healthy on a road trip.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I actually have been
bears.
on several road trips where I've been teased for what I buy at the gas station to eat because I buy like the really bad things.
you gotta
I
spill
admittedly
Spill it.
like the cheeseburgers that come in the wrappers. You know, like they're bad. I try to avoid it now, but I've been teased enough times.
So I got a funny story. This is why I don't eat
Under the lamp.
gas station food. So I was on my way to Chicago and I'm driving. I'm like, man, I'm hungry. And this guy walked out the gas station. He's like, man, this it was like a burrito. It's like, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard somebody else say it was good. I picked it up. Jay was like, you don't want to do that. Got like 7 hours. Like, okay. So I got it. I ate it. And like the whole ride, my stomach was just like,
Yep.
up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
And then
Because
I had
there's
to pull
probably
over on the side of I had to put not on the side of the road, but I had to pull over to Love's.
Yeah.
That's why I said Love is
the truck stop.
Yep.
the worst gas station. Oh man. Like,
Did you have to go take a shower after
I
that?
just don't
Loves.
eat. I don't, no. But I hear
Yeah.
it on intercom. Stall 6 is available.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
Gas station food. Your best bet is either getting you're better off with like fast food or a banana, you know.
Packing
but
your food.
packing your food, prep ahead of time. I'm a sucker for protein bars, but beef jerky's another one. But yeah, I'm usually buying like gummy bears or something. Not very
Oh yeah,
healthy.
gummy bears, gummy worms. I'm a gummy worms guy.
Yeah. I can get down with some gummy worms. Okay, we have another one.
Okay. So my question says, would having the Olympics every 2 years increase global engagement?
Instead of how often do we do it? 4?
Every
I think
4.
it's every 4 years.
Yeah.
But I thought the summer and the winter had different.
I think
years.
Yeah,
alternate
yeah.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this
Can we do that with like the president?
I don't
Change
think
your mind a
it's
little
enough
quicker?
time for people to train.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. That's a
I
good
agree.
point.
And I think they have like people who are like training for years out too. Like every 8 years, you'll have athletes who are training for like, it's 2024. They're the 2028 Olympics, you know, that they've been training for since like 2014, you know? So
It's always a bummer though, like as athletes get older, it's like, yeah, this is their last Olympics. They could probably fit one more in, but maybe not in 4 years. So yeah, I don't know.
I think it might make it less special that way though, too, because then like,
Certainly
you
would.
know, like they get too many opportunities to compete. Then it's like, is it as exciting anymore? I don't know. I don't
And
know.
you think about the prep time for cities to host the Olympics is.
I can't imagine what that's like to prep for. I wonder if Nashville will ever be one.
Maybe
That
in
would
the
be.
future.
I can see it.
I can see it.
I can see it. Nashville is growing. But have we had it anywhere? We've had it in
Atlanta.
Salt Lake
It was in
City,
Atlanta.
Atlanta, LA. Really? When? Probably. I don't know. But, well, yeah. Then if it's been there, it's about time. That would be wild.
Well, we said it first. It's going to be in Nashville someday.
Traffic is going to be really bad, so have a plan.
Did you get the first half of your question?
Yes. All right. So, should the Olympic Games be held more frequently? So, kind of similar.
The same question.
Yeah.
Terry. He came in with the save and dropped the ball again. No, I'm just kidding. All right, is that all of them?
Oh,
Dylan, you have one?
should professional athletes be allowed to compete in the Olympics?
Professional athletes, as in they already play like
I think they already
in.
do, don't they?
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that
the
already?
Team USA is just the NBA All Stars.
Yeah, didn't Caitlin Clark just play on the U.S. team? Mm-hmm. She's a pro.
LeBron's carrying the flag out, I heard. That's
Should
the
they
Olympic
not be?
ceremony,
What
that's
if we?
I heard,
What if
yeah.
we made it a rule that they're not allowed to be?
I always thought that was the rule,
Really?
that you couldn't play.
I
in a
admittedly
professional
don't know a
sport.
lot about
I
this.
That's fair. Yeah.
Do you guys prefer watching summer or winter? What's more
Summer for
entertaining?
me.
Yeah.
I like some. I never watched winter.
I like the winter.
I love
Olympics.
figure skating.
figure
It fascinates
skating.
me.
Bobsled.
I think figure skating is so
Bobsled.
wildly cool. Yeah. I mean, there's a documentary on it, I, Tanya. It can get like obviously toxic, like any Olympic sport, I'm sure can. But man, it's just so impressive to watch.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. What about you guys?
I think I like track and field.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That one's a hot one
Yeah.
to watch. The athletes are cool to watch. Yeah.
Man.
Well, I think it's about time that we get into you guys' story. We've talked a lot about the Olympics, but we're not here to talk about the Olympics. We're here to talk about you guys. As cool and as exciting as they are. So tell me, how did you guys, first of all, do you know each other, or are we like, we're in the same community? Do your stories have a lot to do with each other, or are they completely separate? Like, should we start with, okay. Let's start with you. And we'll start with like kind of how you met Kevin, how you got into 80/20, what made you get into it, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. So I'm Tara Holt. I've met Kevin through Corner to Corner. So I am in operations at Corner to Corner, and
Okay.
our offices are next door to each other.
Yeah.
What is Corner to Corner?
Corner to Corner is a nonprofit organization where we help entrepreneurs in the Nashville community, underestimated entrepreneurs in the Nashville community, plan, start, and grow their own small business.
That's amazing.
Awesome.
You're an amazing
Love
human.
it. Thank you.
Because a lot of people
Thank
need help doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We've graduated over 1,200 people, and
Wow.
we're just continuing to graduate more.
That's
You're giving
fantastic.
life to people.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's amazing.
Thank you.
That's a really
Thank
important job.
Thank you.
Cool. So your offices were
Yep,
adjacent. Okay.
Corner to
Next door
corner.
to each other. Yeah, corner to corner.
Wow, cool. Corner to corner was corner to corner with 80/20. Okay.
Click on the draw, Dylan. But yeah, so I had been experiencing some, I guess, not necessarily health challenges, but I was slower. I was foggy.
Okay.
Going
Like
through
mentally?
menopause.
Okay.
Going through menopause. That's a totally different ball game. Never experienced some of the symptoms, and I was like, okay, I got to do something. Something has to give. Like I could tell in my day-to-day task. Mental clarity was a little foggy, a little slow getting up the steps. Like the steps are treacherous on any given day, but like for me, I was like, geez. I come in the office, I'm breathing heavily, and I was just like, I have to find something to, number one, offset the hot flashes. Thanks for the fan over there, by the way. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. But I just needed to get into shape. I need to get into shape. I need to do something. So I kept seeing Kevin. I was like, yeah, I had a couple of people who had gone through his program. I was like, yeah, that's great, but yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm not ready yet, you know.
I hear that a lot from people who sign up at the gym or are like thinking about it is I'm not ready yet.
You need to
I
get
wasn't
fit to
ready.
come to the gym.
Yeah.
Right, I wasn't ready yet. And true. I was
I hear it all the time.
what?
Yeah.
Let me get myself together before I go to the gym.
Yeah.
'Cause
Right.
I'm not going to be a punk.
So what made you not, why weren't you
Don't
ready
me
at
out.
this time? Like what made you not ready? Was it a mental thing, like a block?
It was a mental block.
Okay.
But it was me not wanting to give up bad habits.
Aha,
When we're
big
talking
one.
about habits. I didn't want to give up my bad habits yet.
Yeah.
So I finally got to the point where I did want to give up those habits.
Did you realize you didn't want to give them up?
Oh,
Or did
absolutely.
you have to have a moment of like, oh my God, like I
talk
need to do
myself all the
this?
time, and we were clear that I did not want to
Let's go. That's self-awareness. That's the first step. Yeah.
Definitely. So I finally decided, with the prompting of a colleague who kept kind of, pushing me that way. It's like, you know what? It'll really help you if you do this. So I decided to jump in, and it's been great. The community, the habits, the compounding habits have been really helpful for me. It's the accountability. It's looking through the app and saying, okay, oh my gosh, they've already gotten their walk done. Wait, what time is it? I gotta get my walk done. Or, and it's
I imagine that's kind of fun too. Like
fun.
that's like, dang it, she's out there getting her walk. Oh, I gotta
you have
go.
to take pictures. Kevin is very persistent. Oh, make sure you log your meals. Make sure you take your picture. It's the accountability that kind of forces you to keep going. And then after a while, you're like, okay, today I'm going to beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm going to
go.
beat him to the punch. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do without him pushing me along the way.
Yeah. It's like a
But,
checkbox.
It's a checkbox.
Yeah.
But it's been really, really amazing to go through this this process, because it's a small gym, which I'm not intimidated at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I am intimidated. You know what I'm saying?
She's pointing at Nicole right now.
It's that challenge. They're like, okay, you walk in, I'm like, oh, Nicole's here. I got to up my game. So you go into the corner, you have this mental conversation with yourself, like, come on, Tara, get it together.
She be beasting it out.
But see, would you rather be surrounded by people who don't intimidate you in that way? You know,
No,
like, because
it's
intimidation is like, I feel like it has like a negative connotation to it, the word. But like, if you're like intimidated in a healthy way where you have somebody in the, you're like, oh, dang it, Nicole's here. She always kicks butt. Like,
Force you to step up.
okay, here I am.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Exactly
You know,
what my
like,
pose is like, okay, let's get it together. Nicole's in here.
Give her a run for her
Yeah.
money.
We gotta get it
Yeah.
together this morning.
yeah, but that's great though.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's been amazing just to see the transformation and me thinking about my habits. I mean, before joining 80/20, I would never work out at home on my own to the point where I'm sweating.
Right.
Because I wouldn't push myself
Sure.
to the point of me sweating.
There's a lot of people out there that are that way.
Yeah, with the actual workouts that he puts in the app, if you're not in the gym that particular day, yeah.
And they're approachable, I'm assuming.
Absolutely.
To where it's
You're
like,
going to sweat.
so you had not worked out before 80/20 and you were not like, maybe like, had you had any like experience lifting
Yeah.
weights or okay.
Yeah, no,
okay.
I've worked out before.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you
yeah.
had worked out before you had experience.
I dropped the habit.
Okay. Drop the
help me
habit.
pick it
And when
back
you
up.
needed to come back into it, you had somebody waiting there that was like, okay, I'm not going to throw all this crap at you at once. It's going to intimidate
Right.
you and make you not want to do it.
No.
But I'm going to give you something that makes sense for where you are at.
For the first 28 days, Kevin was like, just walk.
I love that.
That's all
Kevin,
have to
you
do.
are smart. You're a good
28 days,
coach.
just walk.
Because it's doable.
And you can't come into the gym. He's like, no, you're not coming into the gym. You're going to do 28 days of walking on your own. And then you're going to have to make sure you take a picture every time you finish your walk.
Yeah.
And you're going to record it.
And that in and of itself was your checklist to do
Yeah,
things.
because then it's like, oh, I'm getting in that gym.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
There
getting
you
in the
go.
gym.
Yeah.
So I didn't mention that part, but
That's a really cool.
before we allow people to
strategy.
step into the gym, they have to go through the app-based compounding habit program. So they have to get
Awesome.
80%,
Prerequisites.
which is 22 out of the 28. And if they don't get it, then they can't step foot into 80/20.
Right.
Well, that
Yeah.
adds value to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not just like a sales or a marketing trick. It's like actual psychology, like how we work.
Yeah.
Right.
There's buy-in to it.
Yeah.
And if you were just like, okay, yeah, come on to the gym. Okay, yeah, you're probably not going to do like what I have programmed for you because you're not ready for it, because you haven't like shown me that you're ready for it, but you know, and then you fall off, you know, because she's not seeing the value necessarily in the program because she hasn't had any buy-in.
Yeah.
So that's smart because she had to earn her way just by walking, and walking is not the easiest thing in the world to do every single day for 28 days. People go, oh, walking is, you know, like that's not going to do anything. But like we talked about, drinking water, you might not think that's going to help you lose weight, but if you stack that habit with other good habits, it really is a recipe for whatever you need it to be as far as achieving your goals and being healthy. That's amazing. So walking for 28 days, and then you earned your keep. You were ready to come into the gym. Then what happened?
He's like, come on in. and then I had to get used to getting up early in the morning.
Just careful what you wish for.
Right, be careful what you wish for. So I usually work out with Kevin on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 6:30 in the morning.
Nice.
Which for me, I have to get up around 5:30. So I'm in the gym. My first challenge, I lost 7.5 pounds. I think 1.5%.
Good for you.
Awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, and then moved to. I'm on challenge 3 now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how long have you been with 80/20 like in total?
Oh gosh.
Yeah, we count it by
March.
by.
That's not that long.
Compounding habits, yeah.
It's like
so I'm
this
on
the
my third habit for the second time.
I love this
I'm gonna go and be
system.
transparent.
Yeah, it's like
Right, I'm on
This
my-
is a beautiful system. I love that you track the habits and not the time or the weight or anything like that. It's all in habits. So you really have not been involved in this for that long. March that's not a long time. That's hard. Not even 6 months.
No.
And you've already lost 7.5 pounds and 1.5%.
more than that.
More
at this
now.
point. Yeah, more now.
So
yeah.
hello, listeners. Like, first of all, if you were to lose like 15 pounds in a month, that would be unhealthy, right? Like, we don't want to lose weight at a super rapid pace because it's hard to keep it off. And it's also like, how did you do that fast?
Right.
Is your body okay? Like, but that sounds like a really sustainable way to like rate at which you're losing weight. So now we're at this point where like, I mean, you have to feel fired up. Do you not?
Absolutely.
Like,
I am.
God, that's amazing. Good for you.
It is. Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about like the workouts that you were doing.
Well, it's kind of hard. That was the first word that came to mind. They're hard.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. It's work.
Right,
It's
it
not
is
just
work.
walking in and like
Yeah.
clicking a button and it's like, okay, you did
But
the
you
thing.
click a button.
Yeah, he does. We do like this hit where we do like rounds of workouts, and
Nice.
I can't explain it. He would have to explain it, but he'll give you, hey, the goal for this morning is 9 to 10 rounds. So you got to hit it. You know, you
In
gotta
a certain
hit it
amount of time.
In a certain amount of
Okay.
time.
Like
Yep.
how much time?
20
Like 20?
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
20
Okay.
minutes, and you got to hit it. And if you don't, you're doing burpees.
Woo!
entire
He punishes them with
Yeah.
burpees.
Group, not just the person who didn't hit it, but the entire
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
has to do burpees.
Oh man! And
it's
so
like-
if you don't do it, then you
Yeah.
cost
Fighting for each other,
everybody.
yeah.
So the encouragement is solid. It's like, come on, let's go. We got it, y'all. We got it. That in and of itself is just amazing because everybody pushes each other to get to the finish line.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing is when you have a
Absolutely.
community of people who are genuinely like pushing you and encouraging you and it's for the intention of purely like watching you win in that moment. And then they're going to do the same thing for you. Like it really is the most motivating thing in the world.
It is.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Cool. So let's get into your story and we'll come back to that. We'll circle back to it. But Nicole, tell us, when did you get started with 80/20? And I want to know like how you guys met and like, but we'll start from the
we met
beginning.
through 80/20.
Okay.
But so I'm Nicole Joseph. I'm an associate professor at Vanderbilt. I've been in Nashville since 2016.
Another awesome human doing awesome things in the world.
I met Coach through just a good friend who had worked out with him before. My impetus was I had just gone through a divorce. So I've always worked out. That's never been a problem for me. But getting the nutrition had always been an issue.
It's difficult.
And so, yes. And so when I met Coach, you got to walk. I had, what were they? Jump squats.
Oh,
And I'm like, no, wait a minute. How come I
Yeah,
didn't
that's
get
a
to
way
walk?
different.
She came in, she was like, well, I'm already working out, I'm doing this. I'm like, okay.
she said, let me flex on you real quick.
So I think had like 15 jump squats that I had to do for 28 days to show that I would be committed. Same thing. But anyway, I think what sticks out for me about 80-20 is that it is extremely holistic. So it is not just about getting physically fit, but it is also about your mental health, like your mind, which we all know that in order to conquer like overeating or, eating the wrong thing, like your mind has to be right. This is
To
like
conquer
diets,
anything.
that kind of stuff. They don't work.
Right.
Because if you haven't changed your mind. So anyway, the compounding habit, I am on my 14th compounding habit.
Wow.
Which is one of the reasons why
Wow.
she doesn't even need to be like, oh my God, Nicole's here. I mean, shit, I've been at this for a long time.
Well, no wonder you like are intimidated and look up to her. Like she's setting an example that you can
The
follow.
thing is that I'm cussing, I'm doing all kinds of things.
You and I,
while
we need to get a
are
workout in
doing
together.
The rounds.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm like having a good time.
No, you're rightfully complaining in the moment, like I do.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
hard,
do it all the
but
time.
you're here,
That
so
sometimes I say to myself, do not say anything, Nicole.
Been doing good lately.
But somehow the face still comes out. So he's
Yep.
like, you're looking at me like, like you want to knock
I've
me
been
out.
reading your mind.
Right.
I know that look well.
So it's not like I'm
Yeah,
just
right.
like, yippee. It's just that, I'm committed.
you're doing the work.
I'm committed and I'm going to do the work. That's just how I've always been. But I will be complaining and cussing underneath my breath.
Oh yeah,
Well, there's an aspect of like doing the hard work when you don't want to, which is,
Yes.
a characteristic in itself.
Yes.
That's a
yeah.
good
You can't
habit
always be
to-
motivated,
Yeah.
and
That's
sometimes you have to
right.
show
Yeah.
up and do it anyways.
That's
and so
right.
on
Just let
those
it out.
days, it's like okay, like. When I first started coaching, I used to take it more personally when somebody would be like that in my class or like one-on-one, they'd just be like doing the thing and like just look like they hate me. And I'm like, you okay? And they're like, yes. And then, you learn as time goes on that person is doing work. Like they don't feel like talking to you right now. Like they're not going to make you feel better about it. Like, so let them be and
Exactly right.
assess it later.
That's exactly right. But I think so. The holistic piece about the mind, the body, and learning how to eat. And so, what he has me, and I've been now. It's a habit. Unprocessed foods is like 80% of what I eat.
Good
And I
for you.
think the biggest thing that I've taken away is that I've learned how to cook. I mean, I've always learned how to cook, but
Sure.
it was
Yeah.
with all the deliciousness.
Right. How to cook
Now
healthier.
it's deliciousness through healthier
Right.
options.
Right.
And just understanding that it really is just whole foods. Like I can still eat delicious foods, but not packaged.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
fresh.
Yes.
That was a game changer for me. 1 month I lost 14 pounds, 13 pounds.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. and
Just
that
by
was
changing
at the-
nutrition.
just by the nutrition.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that to me was a game changer. And of course your body is like once it starts, like leveling out, I don't know the right word, but then I hit a couple of plateaus,
Yeah.
and was like working through that, which is like
That's where a
damn.
community really comes in handy.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you hit those plateaus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I started having some conversations with other clients
Mm-hmm.
who were making it through their plateaus and saying, what did you go through? What did you do? But I think that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is that on our app, your compounding habit can be around nutrition, fitness, and then the mental part. So like we do journaling. Like there's the I am journal
The I am,
where
yeah.
you are making statements about who you are. I read
Yes.
the Atomic Habits book for one of my habits.
Yeah.
Where I was learning how to become someone who is healthy, right? And it was just
Mm-hmm. You have to believe that you are that
have to
person.
believe
Yeah.
that you are, and it is like a situation where you're becoming this new identity,
Mm-hmm.
right? So at this point, I feel very confident saying that I'm a healthy person. Like I've lost 45 pounds.
Wow.
And
awesome.
I'm trying to lose another 24.
That's amazing.
And that 24 is hard.
It'll get
getting
harder
off.
as you keep going.
Yes.
The longer you are in it, the
Yes.
harder it becomes. It's the same thing with building muscle. It's harder to build muscle the longer you've been doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But the community, to go back to the community, that's a really just powerful thing, because it does motivate you, and you are encouraging other people, and other people are encouraging you, and that just does something for you, you know. And Coach is such a great model and role model and leader, you know.
I mean, clearly.
He's like, I'm doing it because I love you, Nicole. I'm doing it because I'm like,
Well,
stop lying.
I do see that though, because it's through what you guys are saying, but like it's also through your results, you know, that you've gotten, but like the way you're talking about them, and also just the whole concept as a whole, the habit thing.
Yeah,
it makes sense to me that you know what you're doing, and that you've worked with clients for a long time, and that you've seen like how things don't work, because there are so many quick fixes out there that coaches have to like combat with, like, you know, literal doctors and things that are like giving the quick fixes out there. And I'm not saying doctors are bad. I think there's great doctors out there, but I do think like there's good and bad in any, you know, health and fitness career field. But, you know, you clearly do care about people having long-term lifestyle changes for the better, because it's anybody can hire me, right? A personal trainer, and be like, I want to get in shape for a wedding. It's like, okay, like I'm going to do my best to help you. But like, I'm always like trying to instill those habits that are going to, like, I look at sleep before I look at like how much you're exercising. I look at your nutrition before I look at how much if those two things are subpar, that's what we're addressing first. We're not going to work out until we have those things like to a nice baseline where, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you're at least prioritizing those things, you know? So like you clearly care about that. And it's not just about like, okay, let's just lose weight as quickly as we can. And it's only about one thing, like how you look or something like that. You know, it's about like, how do you feel? Like, is your life improving? You know, like, so that's amazing.
Like hearing y'all stories, it kind of brought me back to the one reason why I started the Compounding Habits in the first place. And it was because I really wanted to reduce the churn. Like clients, I mean, you guys in the fitness industry, it's like, it's maybe 3-6 months.
Sure.
And it's like, man, if you just stayed past those days or that time,
we literally just broke ground in 6 months. Like, I'm just hanging there, like, you know.
So I'm like, okay, I'm really going on a whim with this. I just read a book and I'm like, gonna go with it, and I put it together, and it was just like, okay. And then I got the first person, and Harry Allen. He was one of the first people to go through the Compounding Habit program. And just to see his transformation, like, he doesn't even come in person. It's all virtual. And for him to say, I got this amazing role at Belmont, he's the, I don't want to say it wrong, the
FO, I think.
CFO.
Okay.
The CFO for Belmont.
Oh, like the entire place.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were going to say the Belmont something department, or, you know, wow, the whole shebang. Wow.
He's doing it big, but I mean, he credited from like actually working on himself.
Yeah.
Because it's like you can get the role, but then, you know, sometimes you feel undeserving of it.
Right.
You know?
Jim Rohn actually said, work harder on yourself than you do at your job. He said that in so many different like lectures that he gave throughout his career, being a motivational entrepreneurial speaker.
Yeah.
And if you don't know Jim Rohn, check him out. He's so smart, but he says that a lot, where he's like, work harder on yourself than you do at your job. And he's a billionaire, you know, like he's somebody who's preaching about success for a living, you know, and it completely, when I listened to that, the first time I heard that was actually this year. And because I only started listening to Jim Rohn this year, admittedly, but man, it really makes so much sense, because you taking care of you. And I think there's a lot of hustle and bustle out there where people don't take care of themselves, and they're like, yeah, but it's because I'm doing this for that person, that person, that person. It's like, okay, but how much more can you do for that person, that person, that person, if you are not okay, you know? And like, you're running on fumes, and you may like appear healthy. A lot of people appear healthy and are not, you know? But we need to take a quick break, and we will get right back to this shortly.
Welcome to Game Day Men's Health in Green Hills in Nashville, Tennessee. We are a men's health clinic. We're doing a lot with testosterone replacement therapy. So welcome to our clinic. What you'll be able to do is get your blood work. We'll send it back to our in-house labs. We'll test your total testosterone, your PSA, and then your H&H as well. So we'll get those results within about that 20-25 minute mark. You'll be able to sit down with our licensed clinician and go over your results. We do a lot with medical weight loss, vitamin injections. We have a few ED services as well. And then we also do a lot with peptide therapy as well. And it is something that you want to move forward with if it makes sense. You should be in and out in about 45 minutes.
And we are back with our friends from 80/20, and we were just talking about compounding habits and how you had somebody go through all the way virtually. How many clients do you have on compounding habits?
We have about 30.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a workable group. I feel like,
Yeah.
you know,
And
over
it's really-
100 is too many.
Yeah, really
you know.
tighten it. I mean, I would love to have 100, but I really think the way that it's growing, it's organic.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's some people that have gone through the program. Y'all probably haven't even paid attention to it, but it's like they don't get over that initial step.
Mm-hmm.
They never make foot into 80/20 fitness.
So the first
And
28 days.
The first 28 days is
Okay.
really crucial.
Yeah.
We recently got one person, and he actually mentioned you, Montrell.
Oh,
He's like, man, she posts every day. I'm like, okay.
I want to follow you. I want to
I'm in
see.
Oh, you should follow her.
I think I
she's
might,
tracked
but I
the
want to double
entire
check.
Journey.
Yeah. Ah, cool.
Instagram.
Oh my gosh, we have to tell our listeners how to find you at the end of this episode so they can
The
like see
entire
that.
journey. Like,
Because I know
sit
that's
there.
really cool to see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and watch it. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna be creeping your Instagram all day today. But no, actually, no, yeah, I love it when people creep mine because I'm like, I worked really hard on that. Thanks. Like, and no one sees it
watched it,
anymore. So
really?
thanks for going back to look at it. Like,
for me, it's this, like, I'm not trying to be this extra deep, fitness person.
No.
I'm trying to show people how to live a real life. I'm a professor. I travel. It's like I have a real life. So I'm just trying to demonstrate you can still be healthy. You can still eat well. You can still, love on yourself and do what you need to do.
And you don't have to be a
just
fitness professional.
regular,
Yeah.
right?
Such
I'm
an
not
important
trying to-
message.
well,
Yeah.
your story and your account on Instagram is probably the most important type of account there could be, the most important type of content people could see. And that's why we wanted you guys to be on the podcast, because we interview coaches, we interview business owners, and they all are very inspiring and have their own stories, but people automatically are going to put this like lens on a fitness professional, and you can't help that. I cannot help that people see me and go, oh, well, you already know what you're talking about.
Right.
People need to see people who are related, they can relate to, and that's exactly why we wanted you guys to be here, so you could talk about it from that lens. So we appreciate that. And I did have a question pop up for both of you guys, and you can answer whoever wants to go first, but what has been the hardest habit for you to
Ooh, it's a good one.
tackle and get past in order to get to the next one? And I also want to ask you a question after that, but I'll let them answer this one first.
That's a good question. But right off the bat, it's the journaling for me.
Okay. Okay.
So, and the reason why is I used to journal all the time when I was younger. I probably could have 3 or 4 books at this point from journaling so much. But I think for me, as I've gotten older, I need to move that compounding habit to the morning, because I try to do it at night, and by the time the night comes, I'm
Brain
done.
dead.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm done.
You get half a page
I've
and fall
fallen
asleep.
and I've got drool on the
Yeah.
Across the
pages.
page.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of moving that compounding habit.
Yeah.
But that's been the hardest one for me.
I feel like people take journaling and they're like, oh, that's frou-frou and I don't want to do that. But it's literally just getting your thoughts out on paper.
Absolutely.
A. And B, you don't have to like write a novel. You can
Right.
I struggle with journaling because I'm one of those like, okay, but I could also be doing something else. And my therapist was like trying to make me do it. And she was like, can you just humor me and just write down 5 things that you're grateful for? That's it. Like, it can be your house or the fact that you can breathe. I don't care. Just write it down. And I did. And it actually snowballed into now I journal regularly. And very much so value it. So
Yes. And what you'll find is his instructions in the journaling section is a couple of sentences. Well, what you'll find is your couple of sentences turn into paragraphs because you're like, man, I really
you needed
had a
it.
lot going on up here. Right?
Yeah.
So you just get it out. But yeah, like I said, moving that habit up to the morning would probably be better for me.
good for you for realizing that.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to have self-awareness in order to, good for you. What about you, Nicole?
The journal prompts are pretty deep, though.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of trauma did you have as a child?
Man.
In what ways does that trauma show up in your leadership style?
All important things to ask, but yeah, that's deep.
They're deep, so I was like, shit, I probably don't need to pay my therapist.
Do you know how many people don't ask those questions about themselves, though?
I know.
You know, and how much it reveals about like how you operate? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But you know, what's the make the habit easy? What are the four?
Oh,
So
I'm here for
I
this.
actually simplified it. It's so the 3 principles is
Trademarked by Kevin.
There you go. Boom.
Just so y'all know.
and atomic habits. James Clear, thank you.
Okay.
So it's place it, simplify it, place it, and track it.
Okay.
So when you simplify it, like for example, walking, instead of you walking a mile, just walk 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Place it. You want to find a time and a place for that habit to exist, making it attractive. So
Like routine.
Yeah, making it a routine. So if walking is your habit, and let's say you get up in the morning and you brush your teeth or you drink your coffee, like make sure you fit it in there because it's going to make it stick.
Yeah.
Right? If you brush your teeth, you go for that walk, that reward is having that coffee after you finish the walk, and then track it. Anything that you track, you can keep doing. It's like finances.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't put this in the group because I didn't want to take a picture of my bank account. I've been doing it on my own, but I've been saving. I started saving. It was like $2. So I did $2 every day, and then by the end of the habit, I was like, wow, I can save a good chunk of change.
Yeah.
Actually, when you brought this up, I immediately thought about money and how like when you start to see your bank account grow because you've been like saving, you're kind of like, ooh, let's keep it up. I like seeing that number grow. Like, let's save some more.
I don't want to touch it now. So.
You're right. And then you have to balance out like, okay, I should probably spend something now, but yeah, like that's what I thought of.
Yeah. So,
Go ahead.
yeah, it's just 3 solid principles, something easy, tangible, and practical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I think about that, so I travel a lot. So I pack my snacks. So I tell people, I'm like, I can't get caught at the airport without my snacks because my rice cakes or
And you don't want to pay $10 for a bag of peanuts.
because you will be in that airport and you're smelling all the stuff.
Yep.
So making it convenient and making it available is good. I think the hardest thing for me, the hardest habit for me is counting those macros. And then like because I've been tracking the food, sometimes I get lazy because I feel like I know what 2 ounces of salmon looks like now. But the reality is that you still could be like overdoing it.
Right.
And I do have the scales and stuff, but sometimes it's just hard to just track all that. And then I like to like bake my own things. Like I have sweet potato brownies. I always try to go for 5 or fewer ingredients. And so I don't always know what the macros are in that food. Like I don't know how to break that down.
Right.
So sometimes it's just a little
Well,
bit
and when you go out to
frustrating.
eat, it's really hard to break that down as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So that's probably the hardest one for me.
But the things worth doing in life are usually hard,
I know.
because once you get over the hump of it, you're kind of like, oh, look what I did. And then you're ready for more, So yeah, that's kind of the thing. But I'm curious if you can tell our listeners when it comes to nutrition, like meal prepping and learning how to like grocery shop and like, I think a big limiting factor for people in their head is always, I don't have time. Like I already have this system of like feeding my family and myself and it works and it's not the healthiest, but I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to, prepare the whole foods and ingredients that go into this recipe when I can just pop something in the microwave and be done with it. What do you have to say to people who are like limiting themselves from eating healthier?
Yeah.
With that being like basically an excuse.
Right. Well, I will just say this. I have an adult daughter. It's just me. So I want to say that first.
Okay,
So
that's
I have
fair.
a lot of time.
Sure.
To be able to do what I need to do. But
Did it become more time consuming?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. But, it is all about planning. Mm-hmm. It really just is. So Sunday, I feel like I'm in Jesus days because your food don't last long when you're eating healthy. You have fresh fruits,
Right.
fresh vegetables.
Right.
So one day out the week, it's usually Sunday after church or whatever. I just go to the grocery store and fill up, on the things that I eat. A lot of eggs, avocados, those types of things. And to me, it is a matter of, I don't always food prep because I don't like my food sitting in a container.
Some people
I'm just
are
a weirdo
like
where
that. No, you're
is
not alone, though.
concerned.
A lot of people like
But
that,
I
yeah.
do cook pretty much every day, if not every other day. Like I made two things of salmon, so that's 2 meals. I don't know. I just don't like the food sitting in the thing. But anyway,
Sure.
that's what I would tell people is plan ahead. Do the best that you can to plan ahead, especially if you have a family.
Yeah.
And it would be worth putting all of those containers and things like that together if you have a family that, you just don't have a lot of time. When I go to the grocery store, I try my best to stay out of the middle aisles.
Yeah.
Which is where all of the
Go on the-
packaged stuff
Yeah.
The outside.
is.
Yeah.
Right. And Coach said fresh is better. If you can't get fresh, frozen would be, the next. But canned, nah. You're not supposed to eat canned food or whatever. But
Unless
anyway.
there's an apocalypse, but we don't see that coming anytime soon. So,
But
we're
once I
good.
started saying, damn.
Why would you want to eat like you're in an apocalypse, though?
Right.
We're not in one.
But
So,
the fact that this cup of soup, cup of noodle can just last and last. What the hell is in this?
yeah, you have a great
I started
point.
thinking about it like that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, do you really want that in your body?
Right.
Yep.
Right. But it is, to be real, to eat well is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, trying to deal with that. So like Aldi is a store that is a little bit cheaper, than Publix, for example.
I slightly disagree. I think that eating healthy doesn't have to be
It
that
doesn't have to
expensive.
be expensive, but if you're trying to eat buying a bundle
Planning.
of broccoli, for $2.99 a pound is definitely going to be more money than buying, a can of green beans, for example.
Yeah, but people also will buy for $2.99 like a McDouble.
Right.
know?
Well, so from that perspective, but I'm saying if you're comparing
Sure.
it can versus
Right.
food.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. But I hear what you're saying as well. It's expensive. It can be expensive. But anyway, that would be my advice.
Yeah.
Is to stay from the middle aisles.
Yeah.
Stay on the outside where the fruits and the vegetables.
Yeah, where the fresh
are.
produce is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always on the outside where the
Yeah.
refrigeration is,
And Coach is like, okay, if you start getting above 6 ingredients, then that's probably processed.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, it's also a sign to check the label on things,
Yes.
which I didn't
Yeah.
really get into. I came from an eating disorder, so I came from an opposite,
Yeah.
where it was okay, I don't want to be too cautious of everything that I eat,
Right.
but if you read the how on some things, it's how many,
Can't pronounce
what
it.
are these things in one tiny little bar or something like that. So it's
Yeah.
I try to be more mindful of that because they do make things now where you don't have, you for anything like a candy bar, you can find a healthy one.
That's
or a
right.
healthier
That's right.
alternative, that tastes pretty good, I'm not saying they all taste great, but
Yep.
and after a while, your taste buds change too, habits.
They
When you are
do.
actually changing your habits, you actually have this acquired taste for healthier food.
Yep.
I think everybody discovers that once you get into the lifestyle of it. So,
It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I could keep hearing about it all day, and you guys seem wonderful. We do have to wrap things up, but I want to give you, we do have our Stretch Your Intellect section, which is going to be these facts that we read. They're not debatable facts. And Stretch Your Intellect is brought to us by Defiance Fuel. And after we do Stretch Your Intellect, I would love for you guys to be able to leave our listeners with whatever you think our listeners need to hear from you and your story. So go ahead. Anybody is, the
Okay.
floor is yours.
Underneath Nashville's downtown area, there are hidden tunnels that were used during the Prohibition era to transport illegal alcohol. Some of these tunnels connected speakeasies and hidden bars to keep them out of sight from law enforcement.
I feel like I knew that, but I didn't know it was like in Tennessee.
Yeah, I know it was probably.
Isn't there a movie about it?
Big in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's big
that
in
tracks.
Seattle, that's where I'm from.
Yeah. Ooh, cool. There's a movie about it. Couldn't tell you what it's called, but
Interesting.
it's a good movie.
This 19-acre park was created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of Tennessee's statehood. The park features a 2,000-seat amphitheater, a 200-foot granite map of the state, and a pathway of history.
What park?
Bicentennial.
Bicentennial.
Oh. Did you say that and I just didn't hear it?
No, I omitted it because I wanted to get you on.
I thought it really was like a guess one. I'm like,
I thought we were playing a game here.
yeah, it's confusing because the basket of debate is game. I like it.
I got married at Bicentennial, so
No way. Cool. Good for you.
the small, intimate. It was not that day though.
Oh, yeah.
So Tennessee State Fair, the Tennessee State Fair held annually in Nashville, is one of the oldest state fairs in the United States, dating back to 1855.
Wow.
1855.
I have never been to the state
I wonder
fair.
what it was like in
I
1855.
know,
Did they have funnel
in
cakes?
Nashville, in Nashville.
Probably had a Ferris wheel. That's it. Like dunk tank. That's probably it. If that.
The station located in the Gulch area of Nashville is one of the most famous bluegrass music venues in the world. It is a small, unassuming place that has hosted legendary performances since the 1970s. I don't think I've ever been there.
Oh man, it's one of the only like still standing venues that's like that iconic.
All right.
Was it in?
It's
I
really
gotta explore the city a little bit
TV
more.
show Nashville.
Probably
Yeah.
everything was in that show.
I
mean-
have so many people here now.
Yeah, right. I mean, those angel wings in the Gulch were probably in it too. Yeah, no, that's a really like iconic venue. Okay, last one. First FM radio station. Nashville is the birthplace of the first FM broadcasting radio station. WSM FM began operating in 1941, pioneering the use of FM frequency for radio broadcasting.
It's the Opry, isn't
I
it?
didn't know that.
Isn't that
I feel like the Opry
WSM?
actually is it? I work there and I should know.
Oh, man.
Was it the same one? I feel like there would be something about that on here.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
And I think, did they do it out of the Ryman? Because the Opry wasn't originally like where it is.
Right, right.
Yeah. Anyway, cool facts
right.
about Tennessee that I'm glad I know now that I'm from here. Guys, what is one thing that you'd like to leave our listeners with today?
I would say push past yourself, and you can get to your accomplished goals.
Yeah.
You're the
Mindset,
only one
man.
standing in your way.
Yeah. That's a great,
good.
yeah.
I would say, kind of like the compounding habits, start small, set very small goals. So, like, instead of trying to walk a mile, walk 10 minutes.
Yes.
Every single day for 5 minutes or for 28 days. And then what's going to happen is that you're going to be like, oh, that little 10 minutes was quick. And you'll want to go longer.
Yeah.
Not done walking yet.
Yeah, start small.
I mean, it's literally like math. Like
Yeah.
little things add up, and so do big things, but big things are bigger, you know?
Yeah.
You can tackle little things,
Right.
and it adds up. Yeah, yeah.
Eat the
How about you,
elephant
Kevin?
one bite at a time.
So I would say fit self-care into your business and your profession. Like I said, this is a holistic program. Like, we don't look at it as just fitness. People come in there like, this is therapy. And I'm like, I actually had one person fire their therapist, and I was like, why did you do that?
I'm not qualified.
The gym is not therapy, just so we're clear.
Please don't tell nobody I'm a therapist.
No.
Please don't.
No, we won't make
But,
that mistake.
I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you think about any profession, it took years, and it was headaches. I mean, I've heard many of your stories, Nicole, but you've arrived, and it's like, if you think about your health, it's not going to take that long. How many years were you in school?
Oh, God. I don't wanna talk about that.
I mean, it's
Too many.
like it's not going to take that long. Like it is. I mean, not even half the time.
Yeah.
So it's like if you think of it that way, it's like okay, I can do this. Like it's
Well, and
possible.
if you also think of it this way, and I saw this somewhere floating around on Instagram. I did not say this, but it really resonated. You have all these problems, right? Until you have a health problem. When you have a health problem, all of those other problems don't matter, like that health problem. That's the one problem that you have. And I was like, that part.
Yeah.
So true for anyone. I don't care who you are, you know? So it's like, do you want that to happen, or do you want to be able to avoid that big problem covering up all those other problems that you got? Or do you want to be able to deal with the problems that you have in a healthy way with a mindset that's clear and driven? Yeah.
yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing what more comes out of it, because I'm definitely going to be following that. And I can't wait to go back and watch the whole thing. But
See less of us.
no. And that concludes today's episode. Dylan, thanks for saying so many things today. God, you just talked our ear off.
I'm a listener.
No, I need to be a better listener. Yeah. He's balanced with it. I'm just like, excited puppy. But anyways, thank you guys. And we'll see you guys next time on the NFM pod.
Thank you.
Thank you.